Choke on
Hello,
a dick.
happily. Fuck you.
Ugh.
Welcome to our 26th episode of our Adventures in Excordia campaign. I'm your GM, Connor, and playing with us tonight is Polar Baron, Resident Tiefling,
Oh.
Yeah.
one of the Elric brothers, Silver.
Oh, I was
Run
wondering
over
who
his
you
head.
mean by the. Oh my
How
god,
does it
that's
feel like
okay.
an anime reference, Connor? And fail.
Noob.
Silver, the perfect boy.
True and neutral.
Yeah.
Go on. Please.
Hello?
Please, I guess that joke didn't land either.
Yeah, it didn't.
Oof.
Captain's botching it up already.
Also playing with us is the embodiment of true and neutral. Please.
Me?
Yes.
Yay!
Ow.
True neutral my fucking ass.
True neutral.
She's
Because joke
she's
is
neutral.
they have no feelings either way on the topic.
look, Connor. She's shifting.
That was the
into our
whole
neutral
joke.
corner.
Is that
Bad joke.
90% of true neutrals they say, I have no feeling on the matter either way.
Ha, ha,
Oh,
ha,
okay.
That was the joke.
I do be blessed.
The new Metal Gear release.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance 2.
And just Vecna.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out who to eat.
Ah,
Hey, saying that Zonkiri is Vecna is an understatement of his skills.
Actually, yeah, considering what I did to Vecna with Sunkiri in that one shot.
yeah.
What?
That's where
I-
Zonkiri Talogic came from. It was a character built to beat up Vecna.
Jesus.
No. No, he was built to piss off a DM. No, I went into the new one shot Don't Say Vecna with some friends, and we were all deciding who we wanted to bring, and I brought Zunkiri in there, and after 3 attempts at fighting Vecna, we decided I'm not allowed to play Spellcaster if we're fighting Vecna because I kept nuking him in one turn. And my response was, "It's Vecna. I'm taking this seriously."
Like, I am going to take this guy out.
I'm just picturing Roy Mustang versus Greed. Yet another anime reference. That one was for you, Pyro.
It's the same anime. It's the same anime, babe.
And it's half of my repertoire.
I believe the first tactic I used, I lovingly call the 500 finger of death punch.
Jesus.
1,000 years of death.
Did Mustang ever fight Greed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh well,
Towards the end.
fight's a different kind of word for it.
Oh, welcome to
I
my
know he
barbecue.
barbecued the shit out of Lust.
He
That was-
barbecues
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh no, I think we're thinking of Envy. I think we're thinking of Envy.
Is that? Oh, it is.
No,
it
no,
is
yeah,
Envy.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
talking
Greed
about.
is
it's
the
Envy.
Greed's the one with the impenetrable body.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Greed is Ultimate Shield.
See, this
The-
is why
the
ultimate
this is what
shield.
happens when I make an anime reference. It's wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Envy's the shapeshifter.
Last we left
How
off.
we play the game, yeah.
Last we left off, you all had finished your trek down at the beginning of your 5-day allowance to investigate these tunnels for further evidence on why and how Moonwatch was attacked. You all have now made your way into the Underdark region below Leoteth and are about an hour outside of Gala'Zorn, a drow metropolis in the Underdark, directly below Moonwatch. You all have donned disguises or shifted to blend in with the crowd. Silver has his armor fully on and helmet up with the dread helm. Polar Baron has joined the party. And-
Katir is just purple.
and the rest of you all pretty much just got a pass already. You all are doing your final checks before heading into town. What would you like to do?
Remind me, who's holding all of my shit?
It's in Dariel's bag of holding, I believe.
Thank you. Okay. The only thing, because I don't have the added benefit of druids of getting my shit sucked into my new body, so all of my stuff is in that bag.
Yep.
Barring my half plate armor that's molded to me.
Mhm.
Because magic.
But good catch, because I was about to ask you where you put your stuff.
So what had to happen was Carrot had to walk around the hallway like, all right, 1 second. And then a bear in armor just comes around holding a bunch of clothes on his back.
Yeah.
That's going to chafe horribly when you turn back.
So, is there anything anybody wanted to do? Spells, placing things in special locations, etc. before you all head into Gala'Zorn?
I'm gonna switch my spells, Connor.
Oh, go ahead. Knowing full damn well you can't cast as a bear.
I can
Well,
switch
I
back
get-
anytime I want. I just don't want to.
Okay, addict.
Zonkiri's going to cast the spell that he picked up from Ondariel, I believe.
Which was...
Nice.
Just assume he has that going forward.
Okay.
Unless he switches, actually no, it's not even concentration.
Just is.
And for the foreseeable future, Andaro's going to be speaking in Undercommon.
Gotcha. Why don't we go ahead and re-ping the languages everybody knows real quick? Because I know it's going to come up at some point.
Open extra player bits to look at my fucking languages.
Also, just as a note, for some reason my mouse has been double clicking the hell out of itself for the last 2 or 3 days. So
Huh.
I hate when that happens.
if you see me start rolling checks double or attacks double, that's why.
Gotcha.
So far, you're 50-50 with the comprehend languages only going once.
I'm gonna give you all a second, or just a reminder that you would probably want to look now and see which party members you can actually talk to and not use common. But
Fair.
Common is literally the only language we all have in common.
yeah,
Yep.
I mean, me
And
and
the only one
Dario
that speaks
could
Celestial.
talk.
oh god, do you really have no?
I can talk to
None.
to
It's only
Silver.
Silver can talk to Andariel.
I
Katira can talk to
Silver.
Silver.
That's it. I can
That's
talk
it.
to Silver and Zonkiri.
How did you all manage this perfect near miss of your languages?
Because there are dozens and dozens of languages in
I'm
the
a barbarian warforged
and
with
most
a
of us get,
complicated background.
most of us get like 2.
Fair.
One of them's common.
All right, well,
Honestly, that we have such a wide berth of known languages is actually pretty.
useful normally.
Just not right now.
This is like the same thing that happened with Lilith's planet last campaign, where just none of us spoke Sylvan at all.
It was quite funny. You tried to talk to that void face. She was just like,
Here, Philistines, here, Fisnali,
and
No
then
habla español. No
and then-
habla inglés.
they were like, "Stop, don't do it." She's like, "You want me to keep doing it?" And then she did it, and they're like, "No."
No.
So
I remember that.
we're gonna live the language of the phase Spanish.
It is now.
Hola.
To Twitter with you.
So, you all are coming up on the gates of Gala'Zorn. You see large, standing, black rock and metal reinforced walls that go around the entirety of the city. It is massive. This is bigger than Moonwatch is. It's bigger than most cities than you all have seen. It's an oddity that in frontier space, a city this large exists. But as you get closer, you start to see more iconography of spider webs and wires woven to look like web between spires in the city. You start to see stone carvings that show drow features more accentuated. and you all are about, let's say, 500 feet from a gate. Coming in from the southeast, you all are coming in on this road. There's a few buildings you can see kind of in rolling hills scattered about, but staying on the path, you'll avoid them entirely.
You said southeast.
Southwest, sorry.
How are we coming in
Southeast.
from the south? We were north of the city, and there's a straight west road.
I could have swore you all were. Alright, I mean, it doesn't particularly matter. I'll go ahead and have you come in on the west then. Southwest. Yes, thank you. So, I'll go ahead and move that so I can... I was going to go ahead and mark which direction to the exit tunnel for you all. There you go. So, you all are coming up, and you see there is probably 8 guards standing around, scattered about by the gates. There's about 3 proper by the gate, looking like they're there to stop people, and the other 5 are just kind of about doing patrol work and just happen to be at this intersection. You all
I'm gonna keep walking unless they.
The
Yeah.
gate is
Stop
closed.
us.
I should.
Oh, then I guess I don't have a choice.
Yes, and these, you see these all appear to be drow at this point. Sort of silvery platinum armor with black streaks over it and purple flourish. Give me a perception check. Anybody who wants to try and read the area.
Sure.
Love a perception check.
Ooh.
Nice.
You all do spot that there is, I mean, most everyone except Mogana.
Oh.
Everyone but Mogana
Oh.
spots that there is kind of inside the little guard shack area. There appears to be a more heavily decorated looking individual and some sort of specialist. And at the specialist's feet, you see 2 hound-like figures to its left, to their left and right, just kind of snoozing at the moment. You all come up to the gate, and in Undercommon, the guards ask you, "What is your business?"
And I'm the only one who speaks Undercommon, but Zankiri can understand them.
Correct. And you all would have the knowledge of what language everybody speaks because you had time to pregame and plan.
Why are we going into this city?
I'll give you a
Because
quick
it's-
aside.
Because it's there, of course.
May I talk about game for just one moment?
Yes, I will allow you a
The-
brief
Time to
the-
do this
snap back
beforehand,
to
right?
your
The
camp.
reason we're here is we're looking at this is the closest settlement that we found where we might find answers about why the rats came flying up here. We're here for information on that. So just say
So
we're-
mostly just for information gathering.
yes. So the official reason we give is we're I don't want to over. I don't know anything about Connor's drow, so I really can't give any aside that wouldn't sound meta. So
Can I roll a? Well, I rolled a history check for Drow
Yeah.
Society, pretty much, right? They're
Yeah.
Are they matriarchal in your
Yes.
setting?
They are still
Yes.
matriarchal. They are still very vicious and vile folk. I'd say they're like 80% the same. There might be some individual flourishes that I've changed here and there, but overall, your general idea of drow should still be the same.
Okay, and these are all males.
These guards currently, yes.
Oof.
Well, there'd probably be a few female in there. The higher up officer definitely is.
Okay.
But these are definitely
How-
just grunts.
How the fuck do I want to play this?
Good question. And the last little tip I give you before I cut back to, real time. If you had any papers that you wanted to have brandished, go ahead and set that up. I'll give you a minute to start planning.
Papers.
I don't know, like, if you had anything, papers, icons, a letter from someone, if you had something you wanted to put forth on somebody's authority to get through, or any other plan.
Anyone can forge, now's the time.
Yeah, that, or I'm going to request Connor to look in. I don't want to pry too much, but is there anything in that sheet along those lines? He's the only Underdark creature we got,
Yeah, nobody else has any
Oh.
true reason to be down here.
as far as we know.
I somehow don't think that they're going to care too much about. Oh, he can understand me. Awesome. That we're here from Moonwatch. That might just, make us look worse in their opinion.
Yeah.
You know that there is a tentative truce between both sides. They kind of stay in their lane, particularly with Gala'Zorn and Moonwatch. You've somehow come across this piece of information, and it just pops into your head. They aren't enemies, but Moonwatch knows that there's a certain depth they're allowed to go to, and Gala'Zorn knows there's a certain height they're allowed to go to. Anything past there is unsanctioned ability, and is considered like a breach of their treaty.
Okay, so we don't want to say that we're envoys of.
Yes.
Well,
Moonwatch.
we're not technically envoys. Tell them we could be mercenaries looking into
Could say
why
that we're
they're
just
No, I'm not
Why-
even gonna bring Moonwatch into it.
Okay.
And Daryl and Undercommon kind of look down her nose at them as best as she can, considering she's probably the same height as them, if not
Yeah.
shorter. We're here to investigate the rat folk. They attacked our town, our settlement. We want to know why.
Give me either intimidation or persuasion, your choice, as you kind of sneer down at them, trying to like throw them
Oh,
off. 'Cause it's not
neither
quite
one of those I'm
deception.
particularly good at.
Your choice.
Well, she's talking to males, so intimidation. She
I
knows what
think
she's
you-
doing with these people.
I think you misunderstand. It's female drow specific.
No, it's females, period.
I don't know that.
Drow think Drow are better. There's a gray area. There's a Venn diagram for it.
Creature goes female drow, dog shit, male drow, then other races.
Probably. I think that's how it normally is, but they're also kind of ingrained.
Oh,
in
either way, I
supposed to-
already rolled.
Yeah. And you did fairly well. They just kind of look at you and look at your gang. They nod. Welcome to Gala'Zorn. If he cause any trouble, you will be hearing from us. You hear a clunk as the large mechanical gate starts to pull up. Just enough for you all to walk through. So it's a good 7 foot gap versus the 25-foot gate that the entire thing is. And as you all walk back through, or as you all walk under it and through, you see that there are a couple of archers just sat inside the wall, in a brief section between inside the actual wall segment. You see there's a few other guard folk just kind of sitting around playing cards, sharpening arrows. You see at least 2 casters chilling. They apparently do not play around with their borders. And as you cross back through, boom, it closes behind you. I'll say specifically in what I described, you would notice that there's a double gate system. There's one on the outside and inside, and then in the gap between them, that's where some of these extra guards were kind of hiding, but they lifted in sync. Yeah, kind of airlock style.
Sync? Not airlock at all, then.
Well, they can be done that way. But you pass through, and you are immediately greeted, because you're coming in from the west, with a sprawling market district. You do see the mix of races you were expecting. Lots of drow, Shadarkai, rat folk, tiefling, every here and there. You occasionally see...
then I fit right in here.
Yeah. And you see that they're just... Every once in a while, you'll see somebody who looks like they're almost a normal person, and so you take a closer look, and there's some weird, unhinged, cursed, dark aspect to them that they just kind of have blended in with the crowd.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
I say specifically, like, you'd see a human and be like, huh? And then you'd see, like, their eyes go black and start bleeding ichor, and you're like, ah, there we go.
Oh.
So, you look around the market area you're in, and it appears to be mostly resale things. It seems to be a fairly low-end market. It's all sorts of different stores and pop-ups of people reselling old adventuring gear, gently used merchandise, things that have fallen off the truck and surplus they acquired, etc. And you see, at any given time, it's hard to find a location where you don't see guards crawling around in this sector. At least within eyesight. There's not necessarily one every 20 feet, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a place that's not being watched at some point. Huh. Very useful guide.
A little fucking crossover.
There's... two people can talk to each other. Well, everyone can talk at Andariel or Zankiri, but they cannot get a response unless they return in common, of course.
Oh no, I don't have comprehend language going. I can't cast rituals.
Oh, that's right. So, you all are now in the market. You all had come in looking for information. Those of you who've had criminal or smuggler backgrounds, the type of urchin background, that's what I'm thinking of, would know this kind of low-end area, there's usually a fence to be found or information broker or something.
I think the only one of us who would know that would be Dat-Rat.
I'd argue, Andariel, you have a certain personal connection with something like that.
I mean, unless my bounty hunter will help. I don't know.
Yeah, bounty hunter. Plus, she didn't really go that much into it with her. She learned the language and they hung out a lot, but when it came to actually doing that work, Andariel was not part of it.
Okay.
Just to check real quick, we got a long rest since we came out. Oh, right, okay.
You all should be fully topped up.
In that case, Zankiri is going to be acting as hub man. And if we need to communicate.
Awesome.
I'm assuming you also brought your undead with you. They would have had no issue letting you in with your undead if you did.
Yeah. But these are drow. That they're used to a lot worse things.
Yeah. Well, if anybody would like to start trying to investigate for any kind of seedy information broker, fence, etc., feel free to go ahead and make an investigation check, or if there's some other kind of check you'd like to make, I'm open for...
I'd like to start looking for a information broker.
Yeah, Katira has no clue where to even start.
Yeah.
All right. 24. That's pretty good. You start looking, and you were taught symbols to look for, things to mark where a cache is, pointing towards a fence, hideouts, escape routes, etc. There weren't many in the town you grew up in, but correct me if this is reaching too far. I feel like she would have had a little cheat sheet codex scribbled into her book. And Ariel,
Oh, definitely.
And you kind of just thumb back through to the page and look, refamiliarize yourself with it. And you spot one. Hideaway. Just a little symbol marking it. It's got a little bit of a regional difference from what you're used to, but it's enough to where you feel confident that you found a thread to start moving.
All right. She'll whip out her tome, scribble in it real quick, and all three, Morgana, Silver, and Karn, will get a message that she found something that looks like a hideaway for thieves.
Sounds good.
And you all have, since it is the sending spell, you can respond to her, but it would be in the language you say. So, I'm assuming
no one else could hear it anyway, so they know they can reply in common.
Yeah.
No. Sending you say the message out loud, unless it specifically says... Oh, wait, no, you're specifically the message they say appears written in the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Target creature's name is book. To do so, you must write on the page. Target hears a message in their mind, and if the target replies, their message appears on the page rather than in your mind.
I think you're thinking of message, which you do have to say out loud.
I thought you had to
Sending, you don't have to say out loud.
You whisper a message, and only the recipient can hear it.
I swear it was like last week, Zonkiri was saying sending, you literally take the words from your message and send it to them.
Well, that's just how the magic works.
That's why it's evocation.
But you don't have to actually say
what
it
I was
loud?
saying was that it's not telepathy.
Oh, I think that's where the misunderstanding. I thought it had to be said out loud. Okay.
No.
So yeah, you all get your mental messages back through the book.
I think we were talking about why sending was evocation.
Yeah, we were. I didn't understand it, and you were explaining it to me.
Okay. Then yeah. You spot it out, and you all clock when she points your attention to it. As you all,
and she'll start following it.
It's no more than 30 seconds as you're standing there, and while you're parsing out messages, that you start to see somebody with a kind of like a cabbage man cart, like just a wheel and like two handlebars that he lifts up and is like wheeling it towards you all, clearly about to come and try and give a pitch and like talk you up. Is there something you'd like to do, Karen, or are you miming? Barrel roll.
Oh, Jesus. Katira just pulls up to her full 6 foot 10 inches and glares, crossing her arms over her chest.
He smiles and you see a glinted little silver tooth. He is a bedraggled man, absolutely filthy, and you see he seems to have like a few watches, like a few unlabeled potions, some bound paper.
A sundial.
Just friends.
He's gonna start walking away.
No, don't go. Please, this could change. Do you mind? And because here you have a height of passive perception to just kind of glance back. You see he immediately starts charging towards somebody else. And you will find an alleyway with not much going on.
She thinks to herself, okay, being scary, angry looking doesn't work.
Yeah. While going down this alleyway, and Ariel, you're looking for signs. You're kind of tracing your hand along the wall, looking for the next symbol to point you in the direction. You get towards the other end and don't see it, and you glance back and you see one in the middle of the alleyway, and it points down. You trace back for a second, and you see there's like a stack of like trash-looking things, just like barrels and bags. And you kind of look between a crack and you see that there is a sort of a sewer grate directly below where the symbol is pointing.
Is there anyone around us?
At the moment, no. The alley you all are in is about, I'll say, like 25, 30 feet long, end to end. There's nobody on the alleyway, but there are people constantly crossing over the ends.
Okay. Quietly, she's just going to say in common, we're going down here. And she'll point and attempt to start moving things away out of the way so they can get down.
Massive strength.
Yep.
The heavy lifters help move the barrels and stuff. Do you open any of the bags or barrels? Because they seem to be filled with things.
And Ariel won't.
Okay. So,
They sealed?
I'll say yes. Because you might have, like, one of the bags might have a small enough tear in it. Somebody's just gone through and gotten nosy and messed with. But it certainly, those of you with high wisdom, strikes you as odd that this unattended cargo has been untouched. From what you know about what the city should be like, and given the low-end status of the market you're in.
Are there any markings around the supplies, for lack of a better term?
Give me an investigation check for that specifically. 13. You spot on one of the barrels. There is a one of the, I think it's a rivet is the little, like,
Yeah.
You see that there's an engraved symbol on it that marks it as a drop.
All right. And she'll just whisper to everybody, don't touch it.
Katira nods.
And down we go.
So there is the sewer grate you have to lift up quietly, which no check needed. I'm just painting the picture. You have some of the heavy lifters lift the metal grate, sit aside. And I'm assuming you won't put
Is
it
the grate
back.
big enough to get a bare butt through?
He is a large-sized creature, and this fits medium-sized, so he has to squeeze, but he can get through.
I'll go first. Tunk. Oh, bother.
Winnie the Pooh.
Morgana, give him a swift kick in the ass.
Firmly grasp it.
And you, Karen, fall straight into a steady stream of fluid.
Sploosh.
Right on his nice white fur.
Oh God, I'm a dirty bear now.
Careful.
Is there anywhere down there that's not in liquid?
On top of Karen.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my flies.
You hover just above the liquid. Everybody else makes their way down, and you pull the grate back over. Are you going to find a way to move the items back in front of it?
I'll ask Zankiria to move him back.
They are heavier than 5 pounds.
He has telekinesis, doesn't he? Isn't that better than the mage hand?
It doesn't have telekinesis.
Not.
Well, no.
Yet.
Not the spell telekinesis, but that ability that's like telekinesis.
It's just mage hand flavor like telekinesis.
Oh, okay. Well, his can do 10 pounds.
Oh.
He could do a couple of the bags then. He gets a little bit, but the barrels don't move. They are...
Yeah.
How high up is it? How high away is it?
It's like a... You could probably... If you get it close to the edge before you go down, you wouldn't be touching the floor of the sewer and the thing, so you'd have to get a very weird angle. You would essentially have to, like, crunch up and plant your feet on the roof of the sewer and then pull to get a point of force. So if you'd like to do that, Katira, I'll have you do an acrobatics or athletics check.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds fun. I'll give it a shot.
You're a limber monk. It's something I could see it happening.
Yeah. Oh.
So a 10.
Can I assist her in that? I said that before switching back to the screen to see the natural 20.
Unfortunately...
There is a pregnant a few seconds between that.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't see the natural 20. I'm on Imager.
The 10 still does pretty well. I mean, she gets it mostly all back there. It's not, like, as snug as before, but it's not, like, as wide as it was. And you were only just a little bit covered in sewer slime.
Oh, she doesn't care about that.
Then you just kind of softly drop down.
She's like, it's going to happen anyway. I may as well just be covered in slime.
And Daryl, it's good that you're the one who has the superior dark vision, because there's no light past the sewer grate. It immediately gets very dark, and you can spot out, though, a slight diversion. As the sewer goes down, there's a slight drop, like maybe 4 inches, to have the fluid drop down and continue that way. And it kind of does that a couple more times, but to the right, above it, there seems to be some sort of similar tunnel. One might think that it's just another diversion of fluid coming out of there, as you do see a slight trickle, but something about it strikes you as off. And as you all get closer,
I will guide everyone to that direction, and as we're going, she's going to keep giving people prestidigitation paths around their faces and their hands to avoid illness.
Smart.
Good call.
So there's no light at all? No one's got...
I was going to point that out to you as well.
Once we get around the corner, away from the grate, she'll say that we should light something.
All right. Well,
otherwise, just a random light coming up from the sewers. Hey, what's that?
So,
Morgana's clinging to Andariel then.
The mark leads you around the corner, and you see that it is you see that there is a noticeable lack of slime. This area has been cleaned regularly, and you are now out of the line of light for the sewer grate. I'm assuming you start lighting some torches and such.
Zankiri pulls out the bullseye lantern of "It's bright as fuck in here now."
Yeah.
He'll also pass another everlasting candle over to Morgana and just give her a look that says, "Be more careful with this one."
Well, Andariel flew down and grabbed the one that fell.
Oh.
Yeah.
When she got the gear for your zombies.
Get water.
Or, well, zombie.
I'm assuming a follow-up question, as per like how Karen has posted an image, is anybody riding on Karen, or is he just next to you all?
No.
I'd imagine no.
Certainly not.
I'd imagine especially not while we're in the sewer. It's probably cramped in here.
Yeah, I'm taking up the rear or the front.
Yeah, like I said, these are medium-sized tunnels, so you were moving at half speed technically because you're squeezing through the sides.
Oh, if the side tunnels weren't clean, then they are now.
Hang on, you know what? We're underground. Fuck it. Oh! Fuck. Ugh.
Shift to hybrid or normal?
I'm a hybrid. I'm just a bear with an actual spine now.
You shrink to medium size and lick off some of the slime.
I am filled with disdain and hatred.
That's really going to chafe now that it's wet.
Give me a second. I'm bearing now. Oh yeah, I'm also buck naked, so motherfucker.
You have armor.
It's half plate.
It has at least a crotch piece.
You're Donald ducking it.
Canon.
He's Winnie the Pooh in it. That's no longer, we could say that without Disney coming after us.
No,
we'll do it anyway.
Disney still has copyright over their depiction of Winnie the Pooh with the shirt on.
Yeah, but not the name of Winnie the Pooh.
Don't take my OC bear.
Right, the public domain one does not have a shirt.
Anyway,
so
all right,
you continue traveling down for a bit, and with carrying on your good investigation from earlier in Daryl, I'm not making you roll again to spot more of these symbols. Katia, remind me your passive perception.
Keep my clothes in your bag.
My passive perception is 21.
Okay.
You hear movement behind you all as you're walking. You don't stop or pause, but your ears kind of shoot back. Actually, does anybody have a passive perception? Who doesn't have a passive perception of 13?
Oh shit. 14. Woo!
17.
A specific tiefling.
What is your passive perception?
10.
Ooh.
Oh.
So you're probably the only one who doesn't hear that there is movement in the shadows behind you all.
The one person with the best vision down here.
Yep.
Awesome.
Big follow. I kind of whisper to whoever has the poor bastard, the poor bastard who's immediately in front of me.
I think that's a good point. I'm going to ask your all's marching order.
I'm in the back.
Very top of the screen.
Katira would be behind Mogana.
I'm going to go ahead and just... Green bar.
Sadly, I'm pretty sure the person to be best out front right now would be Andariel.
Yeah, because she's
as much as I hate that fucking idea.
So it will probably be Andariel, Morgana, Katira. Then I guess I'll be in the middle.
And the tunnels are pretty much one person wide.
Come on, boys.
Get that
Where would
bear
the
off.
zombies be?
Good question.
They're fucking carrying Zankiri, so Zankiri doesn't get his feet wet.
I'll allow
He's
two
being
zombies.
Zankiri, where'd you get that palanquin?
I'll allow two zombies to hold him on his shoulders and still be in the one space. But when combat starts, they'll drop him and...
Prince Ali, glory is he, Ali above.
The other one's probably in front of Andariel just to provide a bit of a meat shield for her.
She will accept the meat shield.
Why isn't Darrell in front again? The vision?
Yeah.
Don't we have his bullseye lantern?
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
I'm also looking for the symbols.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the only one who knows Thieves' Cant.
If only you could see above someone's shoulders.
And the only one that can see.
Yeah. You are also being taught Thieves' Cant, robot.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So.
Zankiri, as we're moving along, he's going to have Varshi just kind of post up on the ceiling as we're like moving through. And then once we get a little more ways down the tunnel, he's going to switch to her senses to see who it is that's behind us.
She has blind sight, right?
60 feet.
Cool. So about 60 feet behind you all then, you see a few moderately armored individuals skulking in the shadows behind you. They don't follow like step for step. They kind of wait, and then as you all approach like a turn, you see.
Okay, I switched back to bear, but the token didn't. That I was trying to say. Yep.
You see that like as you all come up on a turn for a bit, they will like stop and wait for you all to take a few steps, and they'll go forward and then wait and like peek around the corner till you all go. They're tailing you, but they're trying to be stealthy about it. Unfortunately, it's very echoey in here, and you all have heard them.
Also, since I've resumed bear that we've heard them, all they can see is my ass.
Just bare cheeks.
There's just a bear in the sewer.
A dirty ass bear in the sewer.
I'm not gonna
Cleaning
lie.
the sides of the wall with his own fur.
It makes it easy to track y'all.
Now they didn't even have to follow within 60 feet. It's just like, follow the clean walls.
Zankiri is going to cast message targeting Andariel.
Go ahead.
Care to explain where we're going, as we seem to have picked up a bit of a tail. Got a few people following us. Are they friends or...
Probably watchdogs. We are heading to a hideout. I imagine as long as we don't pose, and the end of message.
We'll guess again you were saying.
As long as we don't pose too much of a threat or do anything overly dumb, we'll be fine.
You eventually, not long after the end of that conversation, come to what appears to be a heavy wooden door that has been painted to look in the same color as the stones around it. Do you knock, open, wait, regroup?
She will knock in this exact pattern. Dun 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 dun.
Red torches alight. Boss music starts. No.
That fog.
I already have the red glowing eyes.
The eye slit opens, and then a second later, you hear. Name.
Oh, she's bad at this. Deception's not her forte. Andy.
Okay. You hear no response back. As far as she's still watching the trailers, Zankiri?
Yep.
Give me a insight check for either you or her, however that would work, to read them as something might be happening. I think it'd be yours because you're the one interpreting the data coming in.
11.
Oh, 11. One of them takes a half-second pause. It's sort of hesitation you're used to when somebody gets a message sent to them when they weren't expecting it. Just a slight jump scare, and then they settle back in. Eye slit closes. You see the mercenary folks start backing up out of the tunnel you all are in currently. They're reversing. Is there something you all do now that the door was closed?
She'll turn, look at them, and go, I answered wrong.
Congratulations.
What did they ask you for?
My name. This is the part I was never particularly good at, which is why I didn't assist with this kind of stuff.
How did you answer wrong?
I didn't give the right name. It was a passcode. I failed.
Ah.
Zankiri will cast a message and just say, allow me to try.
Squish yourself up against the wall to give Zankiri room to get forward.
You slide past. You're at the door, Zankiri.
He'll make sure that he's illuminated so that they can see that he's a gift. And he'll knock on the door, wait for the eye slit to open.
The eye slit opens, and you don't see anyone behind it at first. Another second. Name again.
And in gift, he's going to say, paying customer, now open the door before I stab you through the heart.
Give me an intimidation check at advantage.
Quick, get your cards.
Hold on a second, something's wrong.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to do this and check something, so, hold on.
Oh, wait. Until I find out what the thing he's checking is. I'll be honest with you, Pyro. You might want to stack that in a flash of genius and you might have a chance. But it's at best at the moment. You get a 10 if you use a card, or 6 if nothing else.
2. Okay, yeah, so fun fact, intimidation is the only charisma skill that Zankiri is proficient in.
Oh.
And I was always... That's always been like a point, a feature of he's not good at deceiving people, he's not good at persuading people, but he is scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I looked on the sheet, he wasn't proficient in it. And I'm like, wait, hold on, that can't be right. And then I was going through a count of how many skills he should be proficient in, and yeah, it was the wrong number.
Oh, were you one shy?
At least one shy. I'm doing another check.
Okay. I mean, you normally build him with intimidation, right?
Yeah.
What's your proficiency
It
modifier?
says proficiency's on there.
That's because I clicked it on there because I was hedging my bet on the sheet being wrong versus my memory.
Okay. We're going to count the proficiency for the check you made, but does anybody have anything they want to add to their roll? Because currently, as it stands, is a 6.
Well,
You said only one card per roll,
and
then
advantage already.
No, I don't have anything other than an advantage on charisma. So.
Okay.
I have a reroll.
That'd probably be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it preserve advantage?
It says right there, reroll conserves advantage and disadvantage.
All right, groovy.
All right, so we roll again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Much better.
That's better.
Worth it.
You hear the eye shuts immediately. Some words in Undercommon that you understand are like he's telling somebody to close the door, and then he's started to unlatch the one for you all.
He's like, I don't know what he said, but I recognize that language. I'm opening this door.
Something about the tone you said. He's just... Ironically, it cut to his center, and he was like, okay. We're letting him in. So as you open it, come in, you see that at the back of the... As soon as it opens inward. You see that there is a slightly more narrow chamber, but still for a medium-sized creature. The chamber continues in about 10 feet before there is a large reinforced metal door, like a submarine style looking one. And then to the... Did I say 10 feet or 20 feet a second ago? Because it should be 20 feet to the reinforced door, and then 10 feet on the right, there is a sort of office-looking door. And as you come in, you see the figure points to the office door and is standing in front of the reinforced one. You see a deep purple cloth wraps around them as you turn with the light. Their eyes kind of twinkle and they like wince when the bullseye comes into their view. And they have a great sword, like out and ready.
Zankiri will turn toward Andariel and say something in Gith. Just kind of, with a jerk of his head motioning forward, like, get to the talking.
Good evening, gentlemen. We're here for information on rat folk.
The bouncer looks at you.
We have gold to spend.
Arms folded, he points to the office door, and you get the implication that there's some greater, more delicate thing behind him that he's kind of blocking, but he's saying you can come in and meet in whatever's in that room.
She's gonna look forward again. Can I have one of my guards accompany me?
Nods.
Guess who she's taking?
Morgana.
Morgana.
Yeah.
And Zankiri is coming with because
Gith.
And he opened the door for him. It's like, okay. So technically, the roles it's being portrayed is you are a translator, Andariel. Gith.
Yep.
Boss. And then you and Morgana would be the two bodyguards to your Gith boss.
Okay.
The rest of you all, as soon as they walk through, the door slams. Thaumaturgy. It doesn't lock, but it does slam in your face. And you could try and push it open, but you get the idea that that's probably not a good idea. So, you walk in, you three, and there is what appears to be an office of some sort. You see a series of trophies mounted on little stands on 2.5 shelves behind a desk. You see there's 3 chairs in front of it, and there's a figure in medium armor, face wrapped. As you've seen with all of these cloaked figures, you, Zonkiri especially, now that you've spotted out the ones who were following you, the guard, and this one, everything's covered up except their eye slits. Down to gloves, boots, everything. They have this
full-on burqa.
Yeah. Full deep purple fabric. As this female figure stands up. She does a spell, and I'm checking the casting time on this. If I could spell it right.
Arcana to see if I can identify it?
Sure, make me an Arcana check. Yeah, it's an action. She just casts Comprehend Languages. And she'll say in Undercommon to you all, what brings you to my den? Sit. And then looks at you and Daryl. Translate for this one, and then points to Zonkiri.
Well, he has comprehend language on, so he understood what she just said.
Correct.
So she's just going to turn to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Zonkiri is going to look at her and
you know what? She's just gonna say in Infernal, she would like you to have a seat.
Zonkiri was about to say, "Well, go ahead and translate it to Infernal."
You will.
I'd say great minds think alike, but I don't think Andario would be happy about that.
Hell no.
You will take your seats, and she starts. You very clearly see that she's starting to record and read you all, looking for an opportunity to understand you. She'll respond to you all, and this conversation will all be in Undercommon until otherwise said. But what brings you to my den?
And in Infernal, she'll repeat it.
I'm just imagining the two of them can actually understand each other at this point, and Dario's just repeating everything.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're trying to make believe that you don't understand her.
Yeah. But it is
because she doesn't know you have comprehend language on.
Yeah. It's funny that both of us are pretending we can't understand the other one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zonkiri will, looking at her, say, "A few days ago, some ratlings came up from down here and attacked what belongs to me. I want to know why. I want to know where they are, so that I can get what is due."
She reaches over to a goblet on her desk and takes a sip of it. This is amenable. I would ask information for information, and I will put the mantle on you to put forth something important enough for me to start digging around for information on rat folk attack.
Translate.
Yeah.
Just assume I'm translating.
Yeah.
And she's doing the proper translation because she's seen people do this shit where she talks quietly while she's talking but staring directly at Zonkiri.
Gotcha. And you do so, and it does a very good... I'm not even going to make you roll performance because that's... You're doing good. It's working.
What information would be amenable to rat attacks? We traveled mostly down to get to here, right?
You all did kind of a slope you went like, we'll say you went down into the left, and then about about halfway through, you had to do like a U-turn and continue down, but now to the right. So you ultimately were basically just a straight line down, but you had to take a very long path to get there.
Okay. Well, for starters, the land above this city is under new management.
Eyebrow raise. Are you referring to the governess? Connor's asking.
No, Zonkiri is referring to literally the land directly above them, from what you said.
Oh.
Which is us.
Amazing. She raises her eyebrow. Interesting. Translated. Who are these new governing bodies in the land above?
Zonkiri will smile. I am Zonkiri the Dead. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
Actually, no, hold on. Zonkiri the Dead. The pleasure's all yours. That's what he would say.
Valid. She leans forward a little bit, elbow on her desk. Interesting. She's kind of ponders for a second. What can I expect from business partners that we're about to engage in who live in a land far off from me, outside of my city's jurisdiction? Is there a possibility I might have a growing relationship in the future?
That would entirely depend on what it is you seek to provide. If you wish to be allies, I have no objections.
She thinks for a second. I'll start looking around for information. Come back with... if I were you, I would recommend coming back with some more juicy information in case I stumble upon something big. But you know where to find us. Use the name at the door as Dreadscales, and you'll be let back in. So she just tells you that when you're knocking at the door, when they ask name, Dreadscales. Yes. And that is a code that will let you be brought back into her office. You look over and do see that there seems to be a symbol of what looks like a scale on a banner, and you very quickly piece together what the Dreadscales are.
Mafia down here.
Yeah.
Probably one of a dozen.
Yeah. All thinking they own the city. Yeah.
Very well. Zonkiri will kind of stand up and brush his lap off. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go find your competitors.
You can't see her mouth, but if you'd like to roll an insight check, you can see whether she smirks or is upset by it. You see, you get the faintest pinching at the corner of the eyes that indicates a smirk.
Zonkiri is evil. He knows how this game's played.
Yeah. We'll be here when you get back. And you are let out, and the door is closed behind you all and locked. Boom.
Just out of curiosity, she gave us a time frame to come back, right?
Yeah, Connor forgot to mention it, but she absolutely would have. She said to, like, come back in a day, and she'll have gotten a day's worth of information on it. And then you all can finish your deal once she has a tangible thing to trade.
Alright.
I take finding her competitors means we're either gonna ask them for shit or kill them.
Yes. That was the implication. The implication being, I'm going to ask your competitors for the same thing. Whichever of you gets the information back to me best and fastest gets my business. The other side gets wiped out.
Oh yeah.
So, you all are in the sewers, in some of the outer skirts, most outskirt part of town. What would you like to do in the next day you have?
What happened?
You get 24 hours before information comes back from Miss Thieves Guild. Zonkiri said he's going to go check out the other competitors.
Okay. Sure. Bear.
Zonkiri, turning toward turning toward Katira, but messaging on Dariel. Is going to say, we should probably find a place to use as a hideout here in something. Place to speak freely.
Agreed. Okay, so we're leaving the sewers. Now that I know about the dread scale marking, I'm going to start looking for that marking. And I want to find a district that stops having their markings and starts having someone else's markings.
Gotcha.
And I would suggest going north first, but I would take into consideration what others say.
So as far as navigating, you can go around this ring, but crossing into the next ring up will be difficult. Like, going due east, that's a higher sector. Excuse me. You get the look that is like a higher status area, and has additional guard gates and things.
So I have no clue what an Archcoin ward would be, but Servants District kind of sounds like it would be a bunch of poor people scurrying around. So
that's why I wanted to head north. We're less likely to get attention if we're up there, I believe.
Fair assumption, I think.
There's also the risk of a lot of those servants trying to kiss ass to somebody and they see a group of random ass individuals walking through. They might just try to spread rumors and shit.
Yeah. Well, let's take a vote. Who wants to go where?
I am very out of my element here. I do not know what is best. I assume Karen makes bear noises. There they are.
Zonkiri will say he's fine with the north.
Silver?
Do we actually have a map of this place like this with the labels on it, or
like one showing? Yeah, just have them like what each one. Here, I can.
More of, I think it.
No, but like, do we have this knowledge offhand, or am I just thinking that's north, that's south?
You're just thinking it's north, it's south. Connor's gone ahead and revealed most everything.
Morgana just literally picked north because she prefers going north.
If you want, you can absolutely like drop the money for a gold and get like a basic one, and then just annotate it as time goes on to get what's essentially I have out now.
I'll drop a gold on a map, no problem.
Yeah, so you've got a map that doesn't have any of the markings on it. It's just basically the PNG file I uploaded, but you start annotating.
Does it have like Servants District, Lamphoro, or
yes, it has those labels.
Okay then.
But not
and
anything
Dara would
that's
then
like
vote
named.
against going towards the artisan sector because she doesn't want to go down there. Anybody else?
Say artisan.
The market, the Arch Coin Ward.
Oh, yeah. I guess not. Let's go north.
Right, so we're gonna get all the way into the Craftsman District before we get out of the Dreadscale territory.
Yep. And you only find these out by navigating around until you see marks disappearing for them and new ones appear.
Yeah, that's what she was doing, looking for. So once we get up there, she will inform Zankuri that through Infernal, she's going to keep that ruse up.
Mm-hmm.
That we're in a different territory, and we could probably find somewhere where we're not quite as watched. Still watched, but not quite as watched.
He'll nod and start looking around for any place that looks like a inn or tavern. Or
you all can find a very let me pull up the expenses page to see what the prices are for this and the naming for it. But I think it's poor is the lifestyle expense that you'd find in this section.
Unless it's wretched.
It's definitely not wretched. There are areas in here that are a bit wretched, but
I imagine the wretched ones are these.
Yeah. And particularly probably like some of the smaller gangs that pressure their people more. They charge more for less. Why can I not find the fucking oh. No. There it is. Okay. So they'll get charged 4 silver per person. And it is poor quality. So you're essentially doubled in what the normal price would be, but you can find, I'll say with that, because I don't want to have us just keep role-playing like J.R.R. Tolkien style, every little thing in the city. You can find a place that you feel confident that they're going to be hush-hush about you being there. They're just going to charge you more.
How much are we looking at overall?
4 silver per person. They're gonna add an extra. They're gonna make it a gold for the bear, for the animal lodging.
I stabbed myself with a stick before, and it hurt.
It does.
For a while.
I actually still have the scar in the palm of my hand, although it was a pencil, not a stick.
Norman doesn't have any idea of what you're talking about because he can't hear his daughter, I'm sure.
Nope. What was she saying?
Talking about getting stabbed by something for a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, you all get. I'm assuming you all pay the toll, like for.
Yes.
Okay. So 4 silver rather a person, and Karen.
Someone clean me.
No, y'all are prestidigitation bathed, I'm assuming, but you're still kind of stanky.
I would like a bear bath, thank you. Someone needs to get a hose.
That's a question, Connor. Prestidigitation cleans items or objects.
I even though he's no longer here, I kind of like the definition somebody else gave. It's like cleaning grease with a napkin. You get most of it up, but there's still kind of a trace that isn't quite gotten by the spell.
Okay, cool. Mostly in reference to Karen's fur.
It's mostly clean, but it's still dingy and smelly.
Someone needs to turn a hose on him.
Somebody find a decanter of endless water.
So guess what I have prepared today?
Huh.
Oh yeah.
No.
Get in there, boy.
I'm not spending a 4th level spell slot on this, but It'd be funny.
It would.
Oh, yes. I
Just
will.
asked me three.
And then-
You took the last bagel can. Now you die.
I'm just imagining Karen like a cat trying to avoid getting in the water. So, your lodgings are put up. Karen, you are taken and like tied to a hitching post.
Oh, those motherfuckers. Who? Who ties me up?
A worker.
Describe this worker to me.
You see like a heavy brute tiefling. He's got one snapped horn, scar across his face, bulky tattoos all over. Looks like he's probably the bouncer.
Looks like you make a good worker.
Are you gonna bite him?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you obey as he's like trying to pull you along, or do you resist?
Can I see where he's trying to drag me?
It's to the stables, like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna stop long enough to just look at him. Then I'm gonna like trundle over to the stables. Just petulantly.
I just imagine you're also death glaring your party. As they start getting like keys to their rooms and beds, and you get given cobblestone path with like half a bale of hay spread around it.
In his mind, Zonkiri's just thinking, yes, exactly where the holy man belongs.
And then Karen's just thinking, next surgery, no anesthetic. No anesthetic for it.
God. So you get your keys, you check your rooms are fine, there's nothing wrong with them. And Karen, you're tied up there till somebody gets you, or you snap free and run.
Wouldn't be hard.
It
Smart
wouldn't.
enough to just cut it with my fucking claws.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's just next to the fucking like stables, like click. As soon as the guy leaves, I'm just like, I'm not sleeping with a fucking collar on. Slice. I'll just lay there, pissed off.
Little cheap leather cord you had around you breaks. You just kind of curl up and pout. So you all check your rooms and they're able to, for you all spotting out other sectors. Like I said, I didn't want to have you all like check every nook and cranny of the city. Now that we've done one, if Andariel or anyone who speaks Thieves' Cant wants to make an investigation check to spot out symbols to locate what you're looking for, you can do that per section.
Oh, right now Zankiri wanted to talk privately.
Gotcha. So you all are in one room then, minus Karen or Baron. But I'll use that in Dariel. But so first,
I didn't mean to click that. I was trying to click on something else.
Never mind. You all are in a private room to have your conversation.
Alright, so it'll be about a day or so before the Dread Scales get back to us with that information. I'd suggest that we make a similar offer to whoever it is that runs this district. Dario, you said you began noticing other symbols.
Yes. Probably easiest to start moving towards the market again. That's probably where they keep their headquarters.
Well,
but I can always follow the markers.
Good. Here's the other question, though. It's taken us 2 days to get here. We need to wait a day for the information.
I think it's still the first day.
No?
No, we've had a long rest.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're on the second day.
No.
Aren't you?
No, we long rested next to the booze man, then we long rested outside the city.
So, yeah.
So, all things considered, do we plan on trying to tackle whatever it is they bring us now, or are we taking that information back to the governess? keep in mind that it's not something we can handle quickly. We're not
I
going to
am
get back in time before they put the wards back up.
Yes. I imagine we should go and while I know you have other designs, we are still within the governess's territory.
What do
I
you mean?
believe our little township, our fort.
Oh. Yes.
We should attempt to stay on the governess's good side for the time being, at least. So we gather information and then we head back out.
I'm going to join that.
Katera, Morgana, Silva. So Carrie casts message and just says Karen. in a very just, not calling him, just offhandedly saying his name.
Shit and die comes from out from the ether.
If we wish to be on the side of the Lady of Moonwatch, it would make sense to prioritize bringing back information to her.
I mean, I don't particularly believe there's a reasonable course of action here that isn't on her side, whether we take care of it ourselves or take her the information.
Do you believe we'll be able to bring down an entire group of rat folk, or a clan, or whatever they are, with just us?
Depends.
On?
And how much prep time?
Where they are, what their fortifications are, how much damage we need to do to them, their relative strength in numbers, tactics. If it's just a bunch of city rats here, then I don't believe we have time to go hunting the alleyways for them. If there's a group of them up the side of the mountain, well, not the mountain, the wall of the Underdark, then I don't see how, collapsing a few stalactites on top of their houses wouldn't be considered getting rid of them. There's also the fact that whatever it is that they were, whatever it was that was pushing them upwards, is probably the more important thing to deal with.
Something that we would need to do in a day so we can make it back on time?
Depends. It could just be, I don't know. General check for an idea as to what kind of creature could be found down here in the Underdark in this region.
What are you asking for?
What kind of large creature could scare a small village or small town's worth of people out of the area down here?
An albino bear.
I mean, purple worm's probably the first one that comes to your mind. Is if you say like a purple worm's headed this way, people are probably gonna be like,
if it was a purple worm, this whole city'd be gone.
Yeah. Give me a second and I'll look for something. You'd probably want something large, I'm assuming. Right? Or like a horde of smaller things. What's a Fomorian?
A Fomorian?
Fomorian.
It's a giant, warped by angry fae magic to be ugly.
Liv, you saw campaign 1. It's the one that they dropped on the Illidan hideout.
Yeah, I know. Connor said Fomorian, which is why I was asking if he meant Fomorian.
Yes.
Bruh.
Anyway, so that
that
comes to mind as something you could say, especially if there's mountainous regions. You could say like a hill giant or a cloud giant or something. Get cursed and is angry down here. Is wanting to take its anger out.
Could be there's a stone giant down here, or rot troll happened to move into a cavern near the camp, in which case killing it in a day wouldn't be much of an issue.
So what I'm hearing right now is that we don't have enough information to make a decision either way.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Then I suggest we just go look for the other Thieves Guild and try and get information from them, or set them to begin looking.
Agreed.
We have no objections.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I must say, Undario, down here, you're acting quite a bit more amenable. Must be something in the air.
I'm just going to ignore that. And off she goes looking for more markings to lead them to the next hideout.
So now roll your investigation check, spotting those out. Easy enough. You quickly navigate to a tall building that has a sort of series of fabric things wrapped around it in this area. Very tight alleyways that all kind of maze together in like a 2 block radius. All very hard to navigate until you spot the signs and make your way to a place called the Dream Castle. Is what the sign says. It looks like it's an inn.
The new inn?
It would have been funny.
Rubs her face. Oh, well, they're not discreet. And she'll go in and try and figure out how best to get a meeting with someone who can do something about this.
So you see the inside of this seems to have a face of like a regular tavern. But after a little bit of mingling and back and forth, you come to meet with a what's the word? A matron of the establishment. She's got like
innkeeper.
She seems to be. Yeah. She seems to have like a pipe with a faint red mist coming out of it, and you all have a discussion. You find they are called the Nightmares of the Corrupt.
How long ago did you make this, Connor?
We're in his Chinubio phase.
Funnily enough, Liv, random generation.
Anti-drow gangs? Yep, that makes sense.
It's giving very Sandman vibes.
It is. She says the same things. I am going to change it. It is going to be hookah now. Because I like that image better. She talks to you and says that she implies that like she's going to reach out to a few people unaware of they're going to be reached out. You get a vibe that she's going to reach out through dreams to see what's happened. Similarly, it's like if you give me something, I'll give you something. Not too dissimilar from the Dread Scales, but just kind of a different flavor of it.
We will await your information.
You kind of pick up The dread scales are supposed to be more like they kind of had a bit more of a stealthy vibe, you know, trying to be shadowy. These guys seem more of like a almost a little bit culty. You see all of them kind of have that similar, whatever that red substance is in her hookah. Seems to be different variations are spread around throughout the inn and the district. So you get a vibe that theirs is, and I'm just going to add it on there, that their poison that they peddle is drugs. So,
yeah.
The small.
So, if you'd like to make a persuasion check, she might even like mark out where the districts with folk are. Like, if you ask like where's her line of influence, she might draw you out the map that everybody of basically the purple lines.
Persuasion?
Yeah, to convince her to like. Okay. Again, kind of just speed running through this one. So you convince her well enough that she takes out her a pen, like a actual mechanical pen, and marks on your map these purple lines. Doesn't fill in the names, but she does sign nightmares on the section you're currently in. She'll offer you a hit of what she has.
Uninterested, thank you.
Okay. So first one's always free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that in like grade school. They're telling us the drug dealers would always, the first one's free. Oh, just try it. That shit doesn't happen. You always pay.
She smiles. You're right. Blows a red smoke ring at you. And Daryl, give me a history check as it hits your nose. You do recognize it's got a vibe to it. You don't recognize the smell immediately, but there's something about it that feels familiar.
24 just gives me a familiar? Shit.
It's
a long history?
No.
Dang.
It's something you grew up around a long time ago.
Long history.
Sure.
Like long memory. It's not short term at all.
Correct.
Long term memory.
And you get the vibe. If you'd like, I'll remind you of the substance that comes to your mind after a few minutes. Like half an hour.
Alright. So she'll head back out, talk to everyone, and just, I suppose we could either hit up another one, or we could just head back and wait for these two to do their job.
2 questions. One, how long has passed since we got up? Did these 2 contacts take most of the day?
20 minutes, I'll say, from the inn to here. You all have done fairly well to get it. It probably took about 20. It'll probably take you about 20 minutes with good investigation checks to find the head of what you're looking at. So you're 40 minutes in from when you came into the city, with a little bit extra because of
only 40 minutes.
I'll round it up to an hour because you spent some time in the inn.
I figured it would have been longer. I mean, how big is this city?
I mean,
we did walk a decent distance.
Yeah, you're right. I'll make it 40 minutes each then. That feels a bit more accurate. The scale's also
way off.
Probably. I got it close to what I think it should be, but I couldn't find a clear reference of how big I should make it. Metropolis.
A metropolis?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, a metropolis should be miles across, not...
Houston is a
barely
metropolis.
a half a mile.
Not a modern one, but like a D&D equivalent one.
A D&D or a medieval metropolis being about half a mile wide is actually pretty decently big.
Yeah.
It's like,
because they wouldn't have a city that takes a day to cross.
Yeah, in medieval times, like a large town was like 5,000 people. Like the city of London, I think, had like just over 100,000 people, I think.
Oh, damn.
In the 1500s, London had grown to 120,000 people. The amount of food we produce, thanks to modern technology and farming methods, which a lot of countries are now stupidly trying to get rid of, allows us to sustain massively higher populations than like even 100 or 200 years ago. There's a reason that like every city is like 72 hours from everybody inside being dead because of the amount of food that it consumes these days. Whereas like older cities could last for like months off of their stores during like sieges and stuff.
Interesting.
The other thing I was going to say was, I'll be right back. My food's here.
He's prepping for that siege.
So, I'm assuming you're wanting to go to another district?
Sure.
We definitely have the time.
Yes. It's not taking you all too terribly long to do these. Because you're not, like, entering into hour-long conversations. You're mostly just having a brief introduction and be like, hey, I'll give you a little bit of starting information, and it's mostly unimportant stuff, or, you know, like a couple coins, and they say they'll start looking for a thing, and they'll get back to you later.
All right.
That's mostly what happens.
I say we keep just heading clockwise.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
those are the upper districts. We're not getting in there.
Yeah, that was a misclick.
So you give me another investigation check as you're crossing out.
Ooch.
I'm gonna say with a natural one, you don't find this district at all. Like the gang in charge of it. You specifically get like run into a dead end and are unable to go anywhere. I'll go ahead and give you the name for it. Because that's as much as
don't give us the name. We didn't find it.
Okay. Find it, yeah.
Carry on then. You've got... I will say what you do see is this district has the middle end magic market. And
does anyone want to stop at the magic market?
This is a place where you get like wizard materials for ink and paper. They might have spell scrolls up to 2nd level or 3rd.
And me my bear coin pouch. I get on my hind legs and I walk up to the register. No.
Well, they wouldn't have like a translator earring or anything, would they? That'd be too
for
cool.
A bear?
For in this level market, no. I'll go ahead and tell you straight up. This market here.
Yeah, that's fair.
You'd probably find it.
Yeah, the high end, yeah.
They could absolutely give you a earring of tongues. Yes, I'm gonna say it like that.
I just love that that's what it's called.
I mean, it's essentially what it'll be. You just cast tongues on you. So, you eventually... I'll say that you took 2 hours with that natural one trying to find it before you were, like, deciding to just call it.
Yep.
So, 40, 80... What is that now? 200 minutes in? The 2 hours.
Sure. Another investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Things on Kira's trying to say something.
Yeah. All right.
Were you saying something, Fergus?
No, that was me dealing with 2 dogs currently trying to eat my dinner.
That's a felony.
No, kitty. This is my pot pie.
You come across in the so the Greater Grove Borough you find interesting is a you see that it has a very nature-esque look to the homes. The like wooden struts aren't straight up; they are instead like this looks somewhat organically grown and then reinforced with the stones were placed in the middle and grown around. You get a vibe. You see some like really nasty looking. You assume druids, judging by the arcane foci they carry, or druid foci, but they don't look like friendly folk. even further in the Faybrook farthing.
Or druids?
Druids, Drow, Shade Archai, Elf folk. You do a you do find word of the Petal Guard.
Use you.
Acumen? A stamen.
What?
Acumen is like ability. Yeah, it's a pistol and a statement. Hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right.
Fun fact, actually. I was a member of a coven of hags once.
Aren't hags typically female?
Yep.
One of these days I would be intrigued to hear that story.
Yeah, they have a very large.
Oh!
There used to be another one.
The one I'm interested in is this one. But and Dariel's gonna actually bring this up. I believe we have drawn enough attention to ourselves for the time being. I believe going to any others would be unintelligent.
Agreed.
It is getting rather late.
And most likely, with us just hitting these three, all the others know we're here as well.
Right.
So I say we just make our way back to our little inn and sit tight. Most likely, they're going to contact us at this point.
Possible. Though we still shouldn't be late to our scheduled meetings.
No, of course not. And Zenkiri, make things look impressive. I'm sure you know how these people roll, but they will probably be more amenable to us if they fear us.
Oh, I love this part.
All right. We head back to our little piece of shit inn.
Bear, damn it.
Oh, and when I was up there in our rooms, did it look like Karen would fit up there with us? I'm not saying stealth. I'm saying, could he fit in there with us? Okay.
Also, I still smell like effervescent roadkill.
Don't we all kind of still smell like effervescent roadkill?
No, Zonkiria still smells like corpses.
But yeah, or corp.
But thing is, I have
like water going through the middle of this thing.
What does that water look like?
Does it look like the Thames?
Okay, congratulations. You get to go in the pen.
He's trained.
Really, people who have to clean up.
And
Okay.
and Daryl, I'm sorry, Card, but she would do this. And Daryl's gonna walk up to the stable hand him a gold, and tell him, make sure the bear gets cleaned.
You look back and I'm like leering above the fucking stall. I'm standing on my hind legs and I just stare at you.
Have a good night.
You.
No, she just says good night. Have a good night while looking at the bear and walks away.
You see him. The bear's hand kind of cracks a little bit as the middle claw. It wasn't meant to, but it cracks over. It's just looking at you.
Funny thing, bear claws, if you look at just their skeletal structures, look a lot like human hands.
Oh shit! Really? Oh, neat. I'll keep that in mind for Sunday.
As she gets back into the inn, she's just gonna breathe out, and an infernal go, I'm going to pay for that, but it was so much fun.
Is this the buff tiefling again?
You mean the buff lady orc?
I assume a defensive stance.
Like a zookeeper with an elephant.
I just slowly turned. Like, just normal animals wouldn't do this, but I'm stock still and I slowly turn my head toward the buff tiefling. I take a singular claw and I cut the rope and I just stand there as it just falls. I do not break eye contact. Bear cracks neck.
Bear abuse. Belly rubs.
Gets really cold. I am not a small creature. I have a lot of fat on me. I am a polar bear. I swear to Ilvian. Just in my mind. Whoosh! Oh, hell no! No, I'm resisting the bow. None of that. I have a climb speed. I see them. Yeah, go ahead. Bring me another one. Try me. I stared. I narrow my beady little bear eyes at him. Once he leaves, I'm gonna try and break the chain. I have an advantage on bear. I'm a large creature.
Does not give you advantage.
Then I also have a card. Let's see here. We're still using my baseline statistics. It's only close polar bear, and I think. Let me head over because one's 20, the other's 19. So yeah. All right, strength check. Oh, there we go. Click. I don't need it. Pink. They can't be that good chains.
I mean, it's a metal chain. I think the DC is just normally like 20, isn't it? Like chains.
Yeah, it can be burst with a successful DC 20 strength check.
Polar bear denied.
There we go.
What'd you do?
Yep. Do I get advantage? For the bow? Thank you.
I would have gone with spirit. I would have gone with spirit. Just like pulling on the.
Since we talked about her still having the physical reactions, even though emotionally she doesn't get it, she just starts. She just starts laughing.
And pokes out from behind the.
Very surprised.
And Daryl's head will.
And walks away to go clean herself.
And Daryl's head will poke out from behind the shade she's bathing behind. What's so funny? Oh, yes.
You see that? And she like stops. She had already stopped laughing and was walking to go clean herself. And you say, "What's so funny?" And she stops, and there's this look of realization on her face of, "Oh, that's what that was." Then she goes to wash herself off.
And she'll, yeah, that was. He needed a bath, and I thought it'd be funny. Although I know he's gonna be mad at me for it.
I write a name in the dirt. Andario.
Look it can write! But only in common and bear.
And orc!
Yep. Well, that's what Andariel plans on doing, but I'm sure other people have different plans.
Well, if we're just chilling in the inn room, then I feel like this is probably when Katira would fess up like she promised. Fair enough. Yes, that is valid. Because if I remember correctly, Andariel had asked last time Katira had the kind of spell, like, what was going on with that? Are you okay? And she was like, sometime I'm gonna tell everyone everything. Sorry, Karen.
I think Zankiri saying, "You're gonna tell us why you do that all the time," was
That's what it was.
how I remembered it.
Yes, thank you. So she would gather everyone except Bairn, together. I believe that it is time I shared my history with you all. You deserve that much, and you've all proved yourself trustworthy. I would tell you if you would listen.
Well, considering the number of times you've suddenly stopped and stared off into the middle distance with a look of surprise on your face, or been thrashing around with night terrors while we've been traveling, I'd very much like to know that you're not going to start having seizures on us as well.
I sincerely hope that I will not, but I have no metric for that.
Morgana just standing there looking at you, her eyes just zooming in and out constantly.
I suppose I should begin by telling you that Katira is not my real name. Or it is now, but it was not always my name. I don't remember what it was. It was before I became Tira. Before I entered into the service of the matron. I've lived another life entirely. And I remember now bits and pieces of it. I've been working on regaining my memories, since they are something that must be sealed away in order to not be a liability.
Wait, so your memories are a liability. That's why they were sealed up, and now you're trying to...
Not specifically my memories, but the emotions tied to them were. The creatures that we faced were called astray. They preyed on the emotions of those that they hunted, and could turn them into astray as well, if you were overcome by your emotions. So, in order to prevent that from being a possibility, soldiers in the Order of the Matron sealed our emotions away, and with it, the memories connected to them. So that we could not become prey. It is only recently that I remembered why I entered into the service to begin with. But I had retired not long before I met most of you. With that retirement came a choice. My memories and emotions could be restored all at once, but there was a risk that if any part of me flinched, for lack of a better word, at anything, any memory, any emotion, that the process would stop and everything that hadn't already been restored would be lost forever. Or they could give me the crystal that I have, and she holds it up, that contains all of my memories and emotions, and I could meditate on it periodically. And it would slowly reintroduce these memories and emotions back into my system. That is what you have seen when I've suddenly gone catatonic. A memory resurfacing, and with it the buried emotions. The first time many of you saw me like this outside of arrest was after that rat died. Whoever I was before, I had a wife. And she was killed by one of these creatures, these stray. In my grief, I was found by members of the Order of the Matron. They offered me entry into the service. And when I discovered that it came with repression of memories and suppression of emotion, I leapt at the chance. I couldn't bear to face my grief alone. And I wanted revenge on the creatures that had done this to her. There are still many emotions and memories that I have not regained. I know what they are, in the same way that someone understands what a color is if they are colorblind. But I don't understand them. What I have not regained. She holds up the crystal again, and she kind of shows off where it looks like it's cracked. But I fear that time is running short, so I have been less cautious with when and where I focus. Because if it is destroyed, then what I have not restored is lost forever. I apologize for having been a burden recently. And I hope that you can forgive me. And she kind of stands at parade rest.
Not sure if you've been much of a burden, to be honest. I'm pretty sure my issues have caused more issues than yours.
All right, that explains it.
If you have any questions, I will answer them. I don't want to hide anymore.
Do you want the rest of them back?
Yes.
How do we help you get them back?
Truthfully, I don't know. I don't know if there is anything any outside force can do.
Would you allow me to examine that crystal?
Of course. She holds it out in her hand.
Zunkiri will pick up the crystal and give it the, mage's examination.
Detect magic, identify, arcana check, all that.
Yeah, if only you could identify someone to find out the effects of it. If only!
The identify gives you, or I'll start with simple to most complex. Detect magic, there's no general school of magic.
Enchantment.
Yeah.
That's the general school of magic.
Yeah, enchantment.
Feels fair.
And also tracking what it does. Enchantment also works. Identify, you get specifically this thing. Very actually similar to the little beads of memory that you pull out, Zonkiri, and shared with the governess. It essentially contains highly concentrated, very dense versions of that, anchored in, I think it's 6 emotions.
Let me see. I happen to have it pulled up. 1, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah.
You would notice that 2 are completely gone from the crystal.
Yeah. I'm trying to... Did you ever pin your wheel? I'm trying to...
No, because it keeps updating, but I'll send you right now the newest one.
Okay.
2 of them are completely gone. 3 of them are untouched, and 1 of them is slightly gone. That's the most recent one.
I think I found...
Send.
Okay.
Send it again.
So it's a little... It's almost like a 6... It almost looks like a 6-leafed clover, like in the shape of the crystal. You do notice that there's something in the middle of it. You see that there's like a red, orange, teal, and green color left. The orange, green, and teal are very kind of bright and about the same tone. The red one has some faint flickers and impurities in it that make it a little dimmer. And then there's just 2 of those leaves that look like they're just completely empty and clear. You see a little bit of crossing over of energy between the leaves. You'll see a little bit of yellow jumps up into one, seemingly from nowhere, as you don't see a yellow branch, and red into another. And if you watch it for a long time, even some of the empty branches, some of the colors remaining jump in there. She's essentially, when she meditates on this, doing a detect thoughts or similar like interaction with these memory beads. And if her mind is able to relax and let it in, then it gets re-added to her. But if she has it like a distinctive flinching to it, like she described earlier, then it just goes back into the gem. And a little... I think that's when the cracks appear. Is that it just gets a little bit deeper, as it's not supposed to go.
I don't know. You've mentioned it sometimes after I've had a big breakthrough too.
I'll continue on it. You haven't had a crack in a while.
Yay.
And Arcana check, if you'll just roll a regular Arcana check for me, Zonkiri, you might be able to ascertain why some cracks are appearing.
This is more information than even I knew. This is awesome. I should have said this weeks ago.
Yeah. So you're very familiar with psionics. You get the idea that this thing was designed to return her emotions to her once it was in close proximity to her. And for a while, she continued to try and repress these emotions, whether she was conscious of it or not, and just was fighting against having to feel some not so good things about it. And that pressure and pushback caused it to start to collapse.
Good to know.
I'll also give you one more thing. I won't tell you what the object is, but you get the nature of this enchantment with a natural 20. Something very important or representative of her had to be put in the middle of it for it to form around.
No.
Oh, it's her name.
Who knows?
Is it an actual object or is it a concept?
Could be either.
God. I know what either of them are. It's either her name or her wedding ring.
Based on what Zonkiri is learning from this thing, does it seem like is this thing like She said it was degrading. Does it seem like the degradation is a time-dependent thing, or does it seem like her pushing, either repressing or trying to crack it open, is what's causing the degradation?
The degradation you see is what it looks like. It looks like it's melting down, but it was just the resistance to wanting to feel negative emotions, or positive ones have been tainted by negative history. Her just not her. She naturally didn't want to feel pain and hurt by the things contained in this, and so taking it sliver by sliver, it was not doing what it was supposed to be doing, and that was what was causing it to break. If she were to just continue what she's doing, like it hasn't had a crack in a while, continue to try and take large chunks and very much accept what's happening and fully kind of matching the psionics of it, if she fully looks into the face of everything that's bad that's happened to her, there would be no more cracks.
I don't know how to do that.
Exactly. And if she continues to flinch whenever she gets hurt, which is hard not to do, damage appears. But it looks like it's not about to fall apart. There's a noticeable break in it, but it's not about to split open. Last thing, if it does get shattered, Liv, you get to roll a d100 for each wedge you have left as the last thing.
That's right.
Because that is what when they said it can just flood back to you, they snap it open and like point the energy towards you, and then you just would roll 60, 100. But if it were to be like shattered, broken, etc., as long as it's within, I'm going to say, 60 feet of you, you'll roll a d100 for every one you have left. And
Oof.
Yeah.
That's 4.
Mm-hmm. And you... have I told you the DC you have to hit for them?
No.
Okay.
I just know that low is better.
Yes.
That's all you've told me.
Correct.
Oh, so that's what this thing is. Well, I've got
What
good
is this?
news.
Yes.
I recognize this, or at least similar enough to something I'm familiar with.
That is excellent.
Considering the entirety of you is not inside of this, it's a bit unusual, but it would appear that at least a piece of you is. So it should work in the same manner. You want the good news, the bad news, or the hopeful news?
Bad first.
You're breaking this thing, and if you keep on damaging it this way, it's going to lose everything inside of it.
I have suspected that, yes. Let's try good next.
Good news is that it's not, the degradation seems to be entirely contingent on your reflexive emotional state, I'll call it. If you're able to keep yourself in check, there'll be no more degradation to it. Looks like it hasn't had any in some time, so I'm assuming your visions have been going well recently.
I've regained a lot more than I had in the beginning.
Going to guess that's the sections of it that are dimmed.
I know there are 2 that I have in full.
Well, that matches what's missing. However, if you do, much like I said with the bad news, if you do continue to meditate on this and flinch again, it's possible the thing could get destroyed.
That was always a possibility. What is the hopeful news?
Well, I'm glad you've asked.
Oh, no.
As I said, I think come across enough things similar to this. There's an enchantment I'm familiar with, one I'm still trying to work out the specifics for. Realm's blasted infernal magic phenomenon. He just kind of taps his spell book in irritation, like, I want my powers back.
Just go eat your imaginary self that's now real.
No, he's real now.
But there's a high likelihood that with that enchantment I could to be honest, flinch or not, you'd get them anyway. It wouldn't be a very pleasant experience, especially if they're not something you're ready for, but it would allow you to potentially get all of them back. And for Connors, he's describing a combination of using detect thoughts to read them and modify memory to forcibly insert them back into her.
Oh, that you get a vibe that would probably work. You would take some
also,
time and surgery.
Add on to that. Add on to that potentially the dream spell, which does a very similar thing.
That's the one I was thinking of initially, to dream and then just kind of broadcast the memories, both of which are solid plans.
Yeah.
However, it does require her to be asleep.
He knew. Yeah, that's not going to be pleasant for an elf.
Yeah.
Luckily, there are poisons for that.
That's just such cheer.
Or
you're only immune to non-magical sleep.
Hear me out. Or you could let me do that again, because I have a tried and true test subject in fucking drunken fucking Karenthor.
That rat huffing unknown chemicals at the moment is unaware of what you're talking about.
Remember, I put fucking Karenthor into a coma. I put fucking that rat into a coma because he just got fucked by it. It's not just sleep.
Yeah, the sleep spell doesn't work for me.
No, remember, Connor, I have my little thing we were talking about with my
the herbalism kit?
Yeah, herbalism.
Kit. Yeah, you made like a blend of soporific stuff and put into
it. Worked on Karenthor. Was Karenthor a half elf or a?
He was an Eladrin.
No,
Eladrin.
Yeah, Eladrin. So it should work on her.
That would work.
Yeah.
Drink this herbal tea.
Friends, I need you to drug me
so I can get there.
Oh,
I mean, that's how drugs work.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of medical procedures.
The secret ingredient is MSG.
Yes, thank you.
The gemstone would need to be relatively intact. More so, the better. So, if you wish to continue meditating on this, slowly regaining your memories and emotions, at the risk of destroying whatever's left in here, that's one option. Or, if you wish to delay for some time, I could we could craft a containment box for this, leave it under guard, and once I figure out the rest of the enchantments required. What's a good phrase for this? It's a bit like loading a cart, so I could download it into your head.
There's also computers.
Yes, but I don't know if they use the same lingo.
Fair. I just felt the need to insert that computers also exist for the rationalizing of using the term download.
In all fairness, he landed on the planet where it's really lopsided who has the tech and who has not, so...
Fair.
Yes, that's what I've been able to glean from this this Katera orb.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Well, it is good to know that it is not time-based, as I had assumed.
Perhaps your rush might have been the cause of some of your tripping.
Possibly.
Pun intended.
Possibly.
And he'll hand it back to her, of course.
She'll just kind of hold on to it and think. Puts it back in her where she keeps it. Beep boop. How long do you think it would take for you to figure these things out? Sunkiri! Oh, there he is. Uh-oh. Is that happening for other people too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Is he breaking up?
Is he saying something? Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
About to let give you a name.
Oh god.
Talarget got him.
No!
He's speaking the words of the ancients.
In the meantime, answer the
And
question. Is there someone in the adjacent pen?
No.
Round about 2 levels worth of weeks. I don't know what that means. Okay, so it's 2 levels away. Okay. Above game, it's 2 levels away.
Yes, although I don't know how to I don't know how to phrase that in game time wise. So in characters
you
on
say the
Kiri
in-character
says,
phrase to convey that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both Dream and Modify Memory are 5th level spells, and he needs to be level 9 to learn those.
I will think on it, and I appreciate it. I'm not afraid of it being an unpleasant experience. I've gone through enough, and you helped me after one of them, which I appreciate.
I did.
Did you never wonder, the night we went to the Colosseum?
Oh. I thought you were just being emotional.
That should have been your first clue that something was terribly wrong.
He thinks everyone's emotional.
He didn't meet Katira in session 1 when she had absolutely 0 emotions, because she got her first emotion back. She got a good amount back before session 12. I just don't have the wheel before that.
Yeah. Think about it. The amount of time between when he met you and when you had that kind of breakdown was only like 2 weeks for him, and it's not like he was around you 24/7.
But the fact that she is a flat line emotionally, and suddenly she is like freaking the fuck out, that's a red flag. Yes, that is what that was. I will be more cautious in my attempts, since you said that your method, even if it breaks and it becomes unpleasant, it will still restore everything, correct?
It should. Like it or not, you. Once
Oh no.
once it starts, it won't be able to be stopped. So, like it or not, you'll get the memories back.
That is what I want. It has been unpleasant doing it only a few at a time, anyway. I imagine it would be worse, but...
You say that, but there's quite literally evidence to the contrary. He kind of nods to where the gem is in reference to the fact that parts of it are busted up because you were rejecting them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that satisfies me.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Morgana's gonna tug on the back of your shirt.
She turns. Yes?
We are confused. These memories, aren't they terrible?
Some of them? Yes.
We have met someone carrying terrible memories.
What do you
By
mean?
choice. We don't understand why, if they are terrible, why do you seek to keep them?
Because they're mine. And remembering my wife. I love her. Even knowing that she's gone and she's something else. I don't want to forget anything about her. Even if I can never see her again. Every time I've seen her before, I want to remember. I wasn't strong enough before, but I am now.
Something else.
You said something else?
I didn't hear what he said.
All I heard was something else, Dunkiri.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean something else? What did I say something else?
Hello?
Hello?
Did I say something else?
Yes, you said even if now she's something else.
Ah, yes, I did say that. That's what I said. Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, what? I thought she was dead.
Who she was
'Cause-
is dead. But she
Yeah,
was turned into one of the creatures.
oh.
After she... She was still conscious herself for a few moments. I don't know if she's still in there somewhere, or if it's completely subsumed her at this point. It's been over 500 years now since that happened. But wherever she is, she's not at rest.
Interesting.
But I don't want to get anything anymore. Meeting all of you, traveling with all of you, it's made me stronger. I can carry them now. I can carry her now. Without it breaking.
Morgana will step back from that and just looking at you, her eyes zooming in and out. You are very similar. Just a detective. Then she'll just kind of look at wherever she saw you put away the crystal.
It's like at her hip. Would you like to see it?
She just nods.
She holds it out in her hand to Morgana.
And she just looks at it and zooms in on it and just stares at it.
Give me a perception check as you zoom into what essentially is like. I know you can see up to a minute details up to a mile. You've got good eyes. Give me a perception check.
Oh, that was 2 GM. Oopsies.
17. Okay. You see the faint look. Yeah, I'll ask you this. There are 4 colors. A teal, a green, a red, and an orange. Which one are you looking into? Because you'll spot something in them.
Said a teal, green, red, and orange.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Green it is.
Amazing.
One of the blank ones.
Yep. Looking in, you see.
Unless the 45 was enough to get something back.
Nope.
Nope, didn't think so.
You look in and you see the face of a woman that isn't Katira. And you almost see, like, in entirely green scale and using negative space to form the image. Just the image of, I'll say specifically the one coming at the surface is you see a hand putting a ring on this other woman's finger. And then the swirling energy dissipates the image, but you get a glimpse of what you assume to be the wife.
Morgana sees the wife.
Yeah.
You see this it's you see her face clearly. The rest of her is almost a little blurrier, as if the focus was on her face in the memory. And then the ring, and then swirls away into the other ocean of whatever that emotion was.
She'll kind of step back, kind of taken aback that she saw anything.
Are you all right?
We did not expect to see them.
You saw her then?
She'll just nod.
I don't want to forget anymore. I don't regret the choices I made back then, but I wouldn't make them now.
Morgana will just walk back forward. And were you just holding it out as Morgana looked at it, or did you hand it to her?
Take it. She would have let you take it.
She'll just gently, set it back into Katira's hand. We cannot really understand, but if it is what you wish for, we will assist you.
This is probably the first time you've ever seen Katira smile.
Other than when you were laughing about polar bear.
Yeah, but this one is different.
No, that laugh was entirely without a smile.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was just very bland laughter and then just this, what the fuck was that?
No, not the Matrix.
Ugh.
It also reminded me of the Obelix. All pieces of him talking at the same time when he's casting.
Oof.
And Mr. Smith having all of his clones laugh at the same time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It was more just like, it's like sort of a genuine laugh. Is it almost sounds sarcastic?
I pictured it as literally just her mouth was laughing and everything else was completely neutral.
Yeah. She's like, wait, the fuck was that?
So, you look over and see Zonkeri finishes up his long telephone call to relay everything to Baron. Is there anything else you all wanted to do for the night, or did you want to pick up when it's time to go to your meeting with the Dreadscales?
Did anyone else have any questions?
I mean, to lighten the mood, if you said you said you didn't know your name, right? Your actual name. Got any bets on what your actual name is?
You are welcome to make them, but I genuinely do not know. All I know is that it is not Katira.
Knife here, McGee.
I don't think it was that, but if that's where you would like to place your bets, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
We feel as if there's a context in that makes it humorous that we don't know.
Katira just pulls back her short hair.
No context will make that funny, Morgana. I've been muted.
Oh no! Did you have any
Looks like a
questions?
Sasha to me. Does anyone else think that?
I am told I looked different before. So how different I'm not.
Honestly, she looks like Katira to me.
Thank you.
So, to lighten the mood, you hear a loud crash outside.
Snapping of wood.
Somehow I suspect that was Karen.
You look out the window.
It's a good thing we've got his purse to pay for it.
Ah! That is a good point.
What do they
Morgana's
see,
gonna
Karen?
look out the window.
What did you do, Karen? Tell them.
So, you heard him struggling against a chain attached to the beam of the stall.
Mm-hmm.
So, in his machinations of getting this beam away from him, because the fucker put the just wrapped it around his neck, and that's not comfortable to Karen. He took offense to that, and he widened the stable. After making sure there was no adjacent occupant, I obligingly laid across into the next stall, taking the beam with me. And I'm sleeping.
Now you see like a chain collar attached to a beam separated from the stables, and Karen snapping between two stable areas.
I am currently spooning, just like, yes. Victory. And just lying there.
You see a stable hand rushes out, clutches the sides of his head.
Just embarrassed. Oh no, the store's back on her! But the match has increased!
I think this is time for some hee hee ha ha checks.
The ground just shakes as I begin snoring.
All the other animals are like in the corner of their stables, like hiding from you. They're like, holy fuck, that's a
That scene from Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. Where are all the other animals?
Are there any animals in here?
Just Stitch and all the others hiding.
Jumps up the window. You land on me. I'm going
Does
to
she
die.
jump out the window?
I don't
You
think so.
weigh
but
more
it's-
than
No.
an anvil. You're gonna
It's a
Looney
higher
Tunes
one.
me.
She decided against.
Okay. Just axe kick into my fucking corpse. Gonna punt on me.
Bad bear. So
I just look up lazily at the stagehand, and he can't understand me. But
you all wake up the
he
next
knows I
day
have victory.
after lore dump and getting a feel for the city. You all can see the little green markers I put on there. I'll say that that's just kind of like asking around a random person every now and then, like, hey, can you point me towards some things in the city? They fill out the green information for you because it's fairly surface level knowledge. You are then able to make your way back to the dread scales fairly easily. You hop back into the same grate, pull the stuff back over, navigate down, knock knock. I'm assuming you use the password.
Yep.
You're let in and escorted to her office, all of you.
I'd rather Zonkiri curse at them and GIF again. I think it's the same message.
Yeah. The bear would be asked to. They would say to leave the bear outside, though.
Zonkiri's reply is Dread Scale. Now open up before I stab you.
Just a lonely, dirty bear out in the sewer, just like.
You can take the Githyanki out of Tunarath, but you can't take Tunarath out of the Githyanki.
Yeah.
You sit down, all of you minus Karen or Baron, and you see she has a sealed, what's essentially a manila folder in front of her. As you all come in and sit down or stand in the back of the room. So, I've gotten some information on recent rat folk attacks, movements of were-rat clans, etc. Did you heed my advice and gather some tradable information?
I believe I have something that would interest you.
So, you wouldn't perchance be referencing the recent rat folk attack on Moonwatch, would you?
No, that's why we're down here.
That's what she was getting at. It's like, that's the one you wanted, right? You get...
Oh, she was asking if that was the one we wanted information on, not if the information we were trading was that there was
Right.
a rat attack on Moon.
She's asking, it's the Moonwatch attack, right?
Yes.
Noted. You were able to extrapolate from that sentence what is implied.
Many attacks have happened.
Well, are you looking to find out who hired them? Which company fulfilled the attack? Payment? Give me one thing you want to know. Specifically. And then we'll start trading and you can buy more.
Which clan was it?
You see,
Or which company? Or he's asking like which of the rats was it?
she relays to you that it was a group of independent were-rats from around Gala'Zorn for the Moonwatch attack.
So they were rare rats.
Yes, recruited and masked to look like rat folk.
Fuck.
Hmm.
And fuck you, Shane, and Kyrie, specifically staged to try and look like rat folk. Because if it's a lichen attack, it's lichens and their curse that's caused them. But if it's just rat folk, then that's citizens of a nation. Very different outlooks. Now that we've got our freebie out of the way, what do you have to offer up for more things?
Let's see if I can find the name of that dragon.
Is your turn?
Yeah.
Is your turn?
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah.
It's title.
The Hurricane Leotith.
Right.
Yep.
The hurricane of Leoteth has left his perch and has declared a great war will soon descend upon this land. Seen it in the clouds, apparently.
Roll me insight check. Anybody in the room who wants to see how she takes that news.
You hear faint
Are
sounds
they
of bubble clenching.
Speaking common?
This is undercommon, so I guess anybody. I mean, this is body language that you're reading.
Okay.
See her body language for shit I don't know.
And Daryl is the only one so far.
You know who
Fair,
has
and Ariel's the only one that.
fucking bear.
So are we inciting them?
Mm-hmm. Seeing how they take the news of war is probably on the horizon.
Let's see.
Only in Daryl.
Only on Dariel.
I will say there's something she doesn't get with a 19 that would have been gotten with a 20, but with a 19,
Darn.
you get that she's done the she does the equivalent of like a half step taken aback, like, oh. You get that business is gonna need to shift to wartime movements, and there's something about there's something more that is also striking her. So, you can see that she's like, this was worth something to her. She now knows she knows that she needs to adjust her business model, and then there was something deeper that she cared about it on the topic, and she'll offer up in exchange, in very fitting. It seems like these rat folk were hired by a Mr. Daxam Bolton, a drow man, and you see she slides forward like a sketch of the guy. You see just like a dapper looking drow who had come in and had worked with an independent company, like had sought out basically a recruiter and was like, hey, I need you to gather a bunch of were-rats for a job. Here's what I'm paying. Here's what they need to do. I'll type it out. It does strike you as a very unelf-like
Bless
name
you.
that he used.
Was there other information she offered up?
There is more. Mainly the only big nugget she has left is like the name of the guy who was contracted, the recruiter who got a hold of everyone. But she kind of lets you know that that's the biggest nugget, to deliberately betray somebody's name. Like, saying somebody in their big city orchestrated a thing on some other random guy's behalf is worth less to her than betraying a member of the city that she might end up working with at some point. Damn it, Pip.
Do we have any other information, guys? We could trade?
Information. Shit.
Like jazz.
Do you like smooth jazz?
No, it fucking sucks.
It's bitter.
Oh,
My teeth.
He's the same.
Zonkiri's got a last bit of information he'll trade with her for that.
Okay.
One final bit of information that, considering its proximity, I think you'll be rather interested in knowing. Considering the location of the city. The Archmage or Goodwill has been released from his bonds.
He's
The
referencing you, right?
Obelix.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a history check to see if she recognizes the name. If she succeeds, she'll probably take it. If not, she'll probably continue to ask, "Who's that?" 22. She takes a seat back. You all very clearly see the look of, "Oh shit."
Wars are coming.
It would pay to be able to trust those we see. Her left eye, independent of the right, flicks up to the back of her head for like 3 seconds and then flicks back down. Noted. The
Let's
name
just
of...
not tell her that we killed it.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, Zonkiri's specifically avoiding telling her that, or even thinking it at this point.
She responds, "The name of the individual you're looking for is Rat. He is a rat folk himself, who works in... I'm just gonna circle it. In Rogue's Village. Nope, that's...
Oh, what a surprise.
Jesus, Connor. Shape. Circle. Say that he's in with another plan up that way. To be careful about attacking him individually, and you might want to have to seek the head of his people. Essentially just saying, like, the rival mafia boss family. This guy's a part of them, not super high up. He's just kind of like... What's the word? He's basically an independent contractor who they exclusively use him and tell it, like, drop him a coin every now and then not to take on business with anybody else.
Retainer?
I think that's the term. He's not an official member, but they keep him at arm's length so they can use him as a guy at arm's length. She'll also share that the name of those people are the Shade Ruiners, and they are human traffickers.
Sees Zonkiri's expression go foul.
She gives you that, basically gives you tips on how to get to their stronghold, and tells you a bar that Drac likes to frequent and harass because it's owned by the Shade Runners, or Ruiners. And so, random people who go in there that he picks a fight with, they'll try and say a word, and then the barkeep will throw him out. Because Drac pointed at him, and it gives him a sense of inflated power. And they let it happen because it makes him think that they care about him. And then she just kind of slides she never opened this packet, this dossier in front of her. But she turns it around, and it is sealed. Essentially just has tape or other adhesive keeping it sealed. Turns it around and slides it towards you. There's nothing in here I need anymore. Take it.
Sorry, what was that?
She's offering you the little dossier packet with the information. Since she's told you everything, she says, "Go on, take it. I don't need it anymore."
I'll take it.
And then she lets you know that if you'd like to go into further business, give him a call. So, you all make your way out of the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you like to do? Actually,
Be butthurt.
I need to use the bathroom, so a little 5-10 minute break, and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, so we're back. You all are done with the dread scales and make your way back to your inn. Go ahead and count off the coins again if you wanted to keep the space. Another 4 gold for everyone. They charge 2 gold for the bear now after the destruction of everything.
You use my money to pay for it? Andorra? Orban?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you just pay for the damages in his, or do you take everybody's rent out of his?
Only his.
Okay. So 2 gold out of Karen's pockets.
Alright. That's...
So, you are in your room.
I'll keep that in mind.
It's hard to keep track of time here. I'll say, because it's fitting, there's like a large clock tower in the palace in the middle that chimes every hour. Just so people can keep track of time.
So I'm curious, like 3, 2, 1, and it's chiming.
It's kept remarkably well in time. And you check it against your absolute knowledge of time. Keep in mind.
All right. So, what do you all think? We could start looking for this street rat. Or we could head back up, inform the governess that this was not some random attack or some... what do you call it? Accident. This was a deliberate attack by Mr. Daxam Bolton by way of rat's name?
Drak, D-R-A-K.
Drac. The rat.
Yes.
Drac rat.
Yes.
I say we head back up so we can inform the governors and get her working on controlling the were-rat problem that's probably going to be happening soon.
Agreed. Other opinions?
Is lycanthropy a disease or curse? It's a curse,
Curse.
I know.
Both.
Both? Okay.
Oh.
Because I was going to ask...
Cannot be cured with, like, a disease. It has to be cured like a curse, but it spreads like a disease.
So detect poison and disease would be able to ping were-rat lycanthropy, you think?
I have a feeling that's up to DM discretion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very gray.
I'll have to mull.
See the mull.
So I looked it up, and the first thing that came up was, I assume if you say were-rat, it would only detect the hybrid form. Yada, yada, yada. Funny that the question immediately comes up with were-rat.
Alright, so are you all trekking back?
Nobody else gave their opinion.
I am a bear.
Polar bear. Ooh. Morgana has no objection.
You want my opinion?
No objections.
There.
There's going to be a fucking bear hug upon you and Dario.
So,
Sounds like
Guess we're heading back up.
alright.
Yay!
You take your way out of town and head back to the Moonwatch Tunnel. Takes you the day to travel, and you set up a short rest. You set up camp for your long rest at the mouth of the tunnel.
So, as soon as we were out of town and in camp, I become Cairn again, and I just walk over to Andariel, and I just stare
you're back.
down.
Yes.
I would like my pants back.
She just dumps all your shit out of her bag.
There will be a reckoning. I saw
For what?
that. I saw that.
Saw what?
Sure. And I pick up my stuff.
I was just trying to prevent you from getting a disease from that filth in the sewer.
I'm immune to disease. Or no?
I
No.
I was not aware of that.
I hang on. Above board, I don't recall because Connor's taken out a lot of the nuts and bolts of my cancer again. I'm not even sure that one holds up to disease. I looked at the damn NPC sheet of it in a while.
You are not immune to disease.
Okay.
Paladins are, but clerics are not.
I wasn't talking about clerics.
Lycanthropes are not immune to disease.
Okay.
So what did she do?
Let's see here. Pay people to come wash me. It was very uncomfortable. I was put in a stable. I understand this, but salt.
So,
Sounds like you got pampered.
They had very rough hands, Silver.
They used a brush.
yeah.
It was cold water.
They used a brush on the top end. Also, you don't know. Are you watching me being bathed?
I was pointing and laughing. Yes.
What have I done to you, you angry little goblin child?
It was a prank, Karen. Nothing
I'm
that
Karen,
hurt you,
I'm an
and it
old
got
man.
you clean.
I'm an old man. I don't understand jokes. I go back and I put my fucking pants back on.
I feel I should confess. I also laughed.
That scares me more.
If it makes you feel any better, we did not laugh.
That is true.
But you did pet me.
We do not know what you mean. And she'll just look away and just look up.
I
Should have
have
made a recording
no
of it.
idea what you're talking about.
Oh god, you got caught in 4K silver. Oh good.
I mean, I didn't see it, so
Shame.
that's
Yes,
a
you are
shame.
arcane
Should have
champion.
recorded it.
Crimes.
I agree. It was quite amusing.
So I'm curious, she's gonna hold out a thought strand.
For a moment, I'm just thinking of the Beauty and the Beast scene where
To be
he's
fair,
taking it off.
Karen.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Sorry. You
Sorry.
go on.
No,
After you.
go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just saying stuff. You go on.
To be fair, Karen, I laugh at you when you look like this too. So
I walk over. You're holding a thought strand?
What?
I don't know. Yeah, you said something, and then we all like collided in the middle of each other.
Oh, he's holding out a thought strand to everyone who wants to see the indignation.
Yeah, I'll go and look at my indignation from the third person. I see.
Yeah.
Damn, I got a
Wait.
fat ass.
You're a bear. Of course you would.
I wouldn't know. It's weird how I'm low to the ground, but I'm also double wide. I don't. It messes with your. What's the word? Point of view.
Perception.
Yeah, that word too. Right then.
Morgana just nudges Indariel. What does that mean?
Honestly, I stopped paying attention when he started talking. So I didn't hear what he said.
Why are you so mean? I thought we were cool.
We're okay. That doesn't mean I'm your friend.
Ah!
You're my friend,
Oh,
though, right?
that one hurt.
No.
Alright, so Karen does a heart attack on the spot. I'm feeling. I'm gonna go with that first one though, Connor. I really like that one. I'll be taking a fighter just to fix that fucking 11 and the other 11.
Anyway, so
wait.
anything else we need to do down here, or are we good to head back up?
I think we're good to head back up.
You left my
Yeah.
dignity halfway back there.
Sadly, it
Yeah.
wasn't a rat clan, so yeah. Our diplomacy
This
is over.
being a were-rat problem is...
Concerning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we still have 2 people that need murdering.
Sorry, what?
Morgana thumbs up at that.
No, that's not a good thing.
Morgana thumbs down at that.
No, it needs to be done.
It's a neutral thing. Neutral.
Put it to the side.
Morgana just flattens out her hand.
It's positive to someone.
There we go.
Wait, hold on. You said that out loud?
I did say that out loud.
He just starts choking out Karen again.
You notice that when you say that, Morgana's eyes flicker black and red, just very quickly. Just
What is it with the people in this party and having seizures? Sunkir just like gently whacks her on the back of the head to reset her.
No, I'm a doctor, but so I don't have no idea. But that doesn't seem good to me.
he just rubs the back of her head.
It's called percussive maintenance.
She does. She's not a fucking pre-2000s Sony product.
An old CRT TV.
Fuck.
We do not know our true age.
What happened?
Oh, is that what I'm hearing in the other room?
So
Good stuff.
I was gonna wait till you get your antics out for a second. Checking back up. All in all, the trip will take about 3 hours of twisting and turning, tunneling, and whatnot.
Thankfully, Zankiri can get us out of there with his keen mind feet.
Exactly.
Yep.
You trace back those same steps. I would like a survival check still from Zonkiri to navigate.
I assist him.
Why? He has a perfect memory. He knows the way.
Yeah. These caves, if they stayed exactly the same and posed no issues on the way back, would be fine. Would be just like that. 15.
Magic Underdark.
Advanced magic under.
So with a 15.
Is advanced darkness.
18 Varshi help. Amazing. You notice that some of the tunnels look slightly different. They go right instead of left where they're supposed to be. And it's not just it being flicked. There's some something you assume to have to do with the crossing of the ley lines over this area into two very powerful magic cities. Just some background radiations makes the terrain a little weird. But you make your way back out. 3 hours go by, you track up a way where you think there's no trouble. Most of the points of interest you ran into, you can't find, though. Like the Sandworm Tomb, didn't find it. You tried spotting out Ordville's, the sealed area. You didn't see anything. It was weird. Very weird. But you eventually come back up to the barrier. Ring, toss a rock in to notify the people on the other side. It's you. They let you all in one by one. You trek the last 30 minutes up in the force field, and you were in Moonwatch proper. For the last little bit of our session, what map is... Fuck it, I'll just do Moonwatch. You all come out of the tunnels, and you are given a very quick audience with the governess if you choose to take it.
Yes.
She knows you were investigating and is kind of... She puts off whatever meeting she was going to have by another 20 minutes for you all to come and status report.
How special.
Info dump.
You see, as you're describing, she's making notes on the side, and after you info dump. Very well. I will start a vetting program with the guards to start assessing how much of the populace has been infected. In the meantime, I recommend keeping to your fort and checking yourselves for infection. You'll notice there will be higher security in and out of the town, and clerical services will likely be less available. Is there anything else you wish to report?
Don't worry, we've got Cleric at home.
Cleric at home, just a bear on the ground,
He's
dead.
still a bear for some reason.
No blood.
I suppose there is one relevant question.
Yes?
You want us to do anything about the man who arranged the attack on your city, or the man who ordered the attack on your city?
Officially, I cannot ask you to enter into foreign soil with our treaty and attempt to exact justice. I have to go through the proper channels for those. And I cannot condone any action, wink wink, that you take to bring this individual to justice. But when it comes to dealing with this, if you are looking for bonuses, dealing with this infected threat, wink wink, I appreciate any help to bring it to an end.
Murder it is, then.
Yeah, subtext.
Unofficial.
I can't, I'm telling you, the direct text is that I'm telling you not to, but if you bring me his head, I'll absolutely drop a reward on you.
Yes. So Carrie understood that.
Where it is then.
Did you need did you have any business left in the Underdark where I need to extend your paperwork?
Yes, actually. Been discussing business with some of the merchants down there, so a pass through the gate, or a pass through the barrier below our fort, would be appreciated.
That can be
Wink,
arranged.
wink, he says.
That can be arranged. I'll write you a new writ. This should give you a temporary but technically indefinite access. Essentially just you have access until she revokes it, and she can get word to them very quickly that it's revoked.
Yeah, you know what they say, nothing more permanent than a temporary government plan.
Ouch, dude.
Like,
I feel
good
that one because we have a temporary on-ramp near us that's been there for 10 years.
Yep.
I feel it's pertinent
The
to
temporary
bring
building
up.
delivery school. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, fun fact: income tax was supposed to be temporary. The FBI was supposed to be temporary.
I feel it's pertinent to bring up. Do you plan on just whatever your magic doodads to find this is? Will that pick up just where rats?
Are you asking the governess?
Yes.
We'll be checking for the lichen disease, yes.
All right then. I feel it's a bit obvious, but I'm roughly 15 years younger.
She nods.
I am in fact a werebear.
Interesting.
So don't knock down my door and stab me.
No problem. I'll be sure to take off my silver rings next time I shake your hand.
I wear gloves now. I use silver to make holy water.
That seems like a very delicate process for you now.
Very. It's painful.
Especially when his bag of silver powder accidentally dumps onto his lap.
Breathing it in.
Yes.
It's not a good time for him. He takes the same precautions as somebody working with like fucking highly volatile materials, but it's just silver.
Yeah. Karen's very
He takes
bad
the same
note.
precautions that someone should take when working with highly volatile materials.
True.
He's not here to be harangued. Why even speak?
Because there's a video.
I'm not gonna watch the video.
God damn. It's fuck Dom, am I right? Because he deserves to be shit on right now.
He picks
Bad
up bits
things
and pieces.
happening to you doesn't preclude you deserving to be shit on. It's like saying disabled people can't be mean.
Yeah, I know a disabled dude. He's a dick.
Stop looking in the mirror.
I just mean that he's specifically
I'm
right
not
now.
disabled.
I'm just specifically saying that right
I
now
am a
Dom's in the
dick.
hospital. And, you know, a little bit of leeway would be nice for him, but fuck him. Doesn't show up to my game.
Oh,
no good
please.
graces.
Dom
That
wouldn't
would-
give two rats' asses.
We've been
Well-
ragging on him about it since we found out. He knows
Anyway.
we do it with love.
But he only has one rat's ass.
Anyway,
Exactly.
that's what we're
Uh,
gonna,
no.
Enough radiation that can change.
that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. It's been a good session.
Hey!
Woo!
Yay.
I will, I suppose, see you all. Well, maybe next week. Stay tuned. One of these weeks, I've got to drive back home for a weekend and get my car repaired. I'll probably still have a game that week, but we'll see.
No
Mm.
Later.